We now come to a lovely story about community collaboration with something called Blue Spaces. Now, Blue Spaces is a programme which provides funding and support to enhance watercourses and the land adjacent to them. So early this month, I met up with Zoe Frogbrook from Northumbrian Water here in the UK, and she told me more about the Blue Spaces programme.
So I'm here with Zoe Frogbrook from Northumbrian Water here in the UK. Now, Zoe's got this really interesting background. She's been with utilities, she's been in academia, hell, she's even been with the regulator. But Zoe, tell us, what is it you're doing today at Northumbrian Water?
Hi, Piers. So, yes, today I am Head of Environment and Sustainability for Northumbrian Water. So that's quite a big role. It kind of covers everything we do as a business, but I'm really kind of responsible for making sure that we're doing the right things for the environment and that we're looking at our sustainability as a business.
Excellent. And can you describe yourself in 3 words for me, please?
3 words. Dedicated, organised and active, probably.
Dedicated, organised and active. You sound like my wife. That's what my wife is. That's very good. And,
I'm not.
No, that's true. We should clarify that early on. And we'd like to know a little bit more about you, just a secret. What's the latest podcast that you've been listening to?
My guilty pleasure, which I listen to on the way to work, is You're Dead to Me, which is it's a podcast about history, and I've learned such amazing things on my drive to work about history, from the history of high heels to actually kind of key people in history, and they even give you a quiz at the end to make sure that you've been listening.
We should do that here on the Water Action platform. We'll do a quiz at the end of them and make sure people have listened. What did Zoe talk about? Well, what did Zoe talk about? So the reason we're doing this is because I contacted your chief executive, Heidi Mottram, about a project that I thought, an environment project that I thought might be of interest to Northumbrian Water. And she came back saying, yes, that looks very interesting, but we've got something called Blue Spaces. And suddenly this whole new world opened up around Blue Spaces. So what is Blue Spaces?
So Blue Spaces is a programme that we started in 2020. It was actually inspired by our customers. Our customers gave us some feedback that they wanted to see wider improvements to kind of what we class as the water environment, so anything close to a surface water. And what it really does is it provides support to make improvements to that environment. And that kind of improvements could be access, improving the access to the area, improving the facilities at the area. It could be improving water quality, or it could be improving biodiversity. And we normally like it to tick 2 of the 3 boxes out of that. And it's been a really successful project so far. We've had a really good number of projects into this. We set some quite ambitious goals for ourselves. We wanted to see 250 kilometres improved of what we call the Blue Spaces by 2025. So in 5 years, we wanted to improve 250 kilometres.
And just to be clear, is it about watercourses, or is it about the land adjacent to watercourses, or is it?
It's the land adjacent to watercourses, so it's not necessarily in the watercourse. It's the land around it, so it includes like wetlands,
planting trees, and preserving grasslands and things like that. Okay, and I know you've got some staggering statistics. Can you just rattle some of those off for us?
Right, so yeah, we have. So far with the projects that we supported, so bear in mind that we are one of the funders for these. But we really do help kind of make these projects happen. We've planted over 6,000 trees, improved about 52 hectares of grassland for the biodiversity benefits. So we're starting to see some really good environmental benefits, but there's a social side as well, which is really important. So we're doing this for our communities. And through those projects that we funded so far, we've managed to, because we gather some stats about what the projects have been able to do. We've had over 10,000 children engaging with those sites, over 4,000 adults kind of come into those sites. So there's a really massive...
And that's getting the children come along. That's getting the children to come to the site and do the tree planting with you. It's that sort of.
Or just experiencing nature, being able to access nature, because being able to connect people to nature is really important. So what we're able to do by kind of improving pathways, by planting more trees, by looking at kind of what we can do within the watercourse in terms of water quality, that's all helping create a really nice experience for children and encourage people to come to the sites as well.
Excellent. Well, I love the fact that you launched this. It sounds like you launched this either just before the pandemic or even in the pandemic. 2020, when did the pandemic begin? It was about then, wasn't it?
2019 was when it's kind of started, but lockdown was 2020. So yes, we started this in challenging times, and
not
just very much.
Sorry, carry on.
So we work very much with partners on this. So we do site visits as well. So it was always quite challenging at the start to do that.
As Zoe noted at the end, all of the activities Zoe shared were done during the pandemic. It throws up a fascinating question about whether the pandemic actually gave us more time to focus on doing the really meaningful activities, because we were no longer commuting to and from work or spending time in those meetings which, let's be brutally honest, we all sit in and wonder why we're attending. Anyway, if you thought Blue Spaces sounded like a model that you would like to emulate or learn from, please let me know. I'm certain Zoe would be delighted to hear from you and would willingly share her experiences further.